So about a year ago, I decided to try out a little test. I wanted to see if my Fitbit was causing me to get anxious. So you can see I'm actually wearing it right now, so this is part of the testing process. But I did go about a year of not wearing my Fitbit at all, and the results were pretty surprising on how I felt in relation to my anxiety. So I'm going to be sharing all those details, my whole experience in today's video. All right, if you're new to my channel, my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with a master's in nutrition and human performance. On my channel, I'm always sharing the science-backed information on how you can actually use your lifestyle and your food to feel good again. A part of this is Fitbit. So for a long time, just to give you a little backstory on my relationship with the Fitbit. I used to be obsessed with my Fitbit. I loved it. I love counting steps. I lived by that, like step o'clock. When I used to work in more of an office setting, I would always like round up my friends and be like, all right, it's step o'clock, let's go step. And if you don't have a Fitbit, you probably have no idea what I'm saying. But basically, if you haven't achieved 250 steps in an hour, then about 10 minutes before the hour ends, your Fitbit will be like, it's step o'clock, time to go step. Having a Fitbit actually really helped me because it did help to increase my steps, help to get me outside and get walking, especially during a time when my anxiety was really high for other reasons. After about 2 years of wearing my Fitbit pretty religiously and being obsessed with it, I started to feel a little weird about it. It started to not fit in with my philosophy. And I started to get a little freaked out by wearing my Fitbit so often. I started to associate it with anxiety. So the first time I decided to stop wearing it really happened by accident. It was when I went on vacation to Costa Rica, and you're in the water for the most part and you can't wear Fitbits in the water. So I just decided not to bring it. And then from there on, I was like, it's already been a week, I might as well just keep going. And then I kept going. So after Costa Rica, I decided to just not wear it for a long time. At first, I didn't notice a huge difference. I did really miss having my Fitbit because I was so obsessed with knowing my steps and getting outside and walking, and I definitely for a while noticed a decrease in walking because I wasn't actively aware of that. Since I wasn't wearing my Fitbit, I did have to be more on top of myself to get outside and get walking because I have talked about how walking in general is also really important for making sure that you can reduce anxiety, and that's that fight or flight mode that can be a trigger for anxiety. I do talk a lot about that here as well. When I started to look more into the science of this, is there actually a reason, a mechanism behind the Fitbit causing me any issues, any feelings of anxiety, being in the state of fight or flight? That's when I realized, and it was sort of like a the moment, that Fitbits release a fair amount of EMFs. So if you don't know anything about EMFs, let me know if you guys actually want me to do a whole video about EMFs specifically. Just let me know in the comments below. I haven't done anything specifically on EMFs before. There's some studies that have found that EMF exposure, especially consistent exposure, like if you're wearing a Fitbit or if you have your phone around you often, that it can actually lead to symptoms like headaches or mood swings or sleep disorders, foggy brain, nausea. And those were some of the things that I was experiencing. Whether or not it's associated with EMF, no one can really say. I wasn't experiencing it as often when I wasn't wearing the Fitbit. Because keep in mind, I was wearing the Fitbit at night too, and considering one of the issues is sleep disorders, and anxiety is so closely linked to having poor quality sleep or high quality sleep, that it makes sense that the Fitbit was causing some issues with anxiety because it was causing issues with sleep. Plus, and this was another crazy thing that I found out and I actually didn't know, but EMF exposure also inhibits melatonin because EMFs are absorbed by your body and processed by your body in the same way that lights are. The EMF lights can trick your body into thinking that it is daytime. Your body thinking that it's daytime is what will stop melatonin production because your body doesn't want you to go to sleep in the middle of the day. That wouldn't be productive for wellness goals or just feeling good in general. No one wants to be sleepy in the middle of the day. So something else that was really interesting is that just like with cell phones, every time you receive a notification, whether it be positive or negative, it can cause a spike in your cortisol levels. And cortisol is a stress hormone, which is directly linked to anxiety. So again, if you don't have the Fitbit, then you probably don't know this, but I mentioned it earlier, you get a notification every hour at least saying get up and walk, which that in itself could cause a spike in cortisol levels, but there's not any studies on it, so I can't really say for sure. It syncs up with your phone. So every time you get a text or a phone call or a calendar alert or anything, that's when you also get a notification. Especially if like your business is on your phone, then you're getting a lot of notifications, which means that you're getting a lot of those spikes in cortisol, which can lead to anxiety as well. I did a lot of other things for my anxiety. I talk a lot about anxiety, and this is something I also work on with my clients, but I took off my Fitbit for a year, and I would have to say, honestly, from not wearing it for a year and then from putting it back on, I have noticed a significant change in my anxiety levels. So even in the past couple days, I did notice, because I literally just started wearing this a couple days ago, I did notice a pretty significant spike in my anxiety levels. And at first I was like, why am I feeling so anxious? This is really weird. I haven't felt like this in so long. Then I was like, oh, it's this guy. So you're probably wondering why I'm even wearing it right now in the first place. No, it's not just for the video. So I rarely wear this now. I'm not going to keep on wearing my Fitbit, but I do like to put it on just to make sure that I know how many steps I'm getting and I can see that I'm getting enough throughout the day in order to keep my anxiety in check as well. I mean, especially because I pretty much go on the same walking route every day and I know how many steps roughly I have when I work out. Once I've established, you know, the walking routes and how many steps that I'm getting from those, I'm able to be pretty consistent about at least getting in that many steps and making sure that I'm getting the proper amount. So I just recently put this on just to make sure that I'm within that range, but I'm probably actually going to be taking this off tomorrow because, like I said, I've been experiencing this weird spike in anxiety that I have not had in a while and I shouldn't be having. But I must admit, I do miss seeing, you know, the analytical part of my mind. I do miss seeing the steps that I have each day. I mean, it's a weird satisfaction, but unless you've had a Fitbit or some type of step counter, then it's really impossible to explain the weird satisfaction you get from seeing how many steps you get in a day, because I am on this mission to make sure that I don't have anxiety, because anxiety sucks and it's something that it just takes away the quality of your life by so much. It's not worth knowing my steps to have anxiety. From my experience and from what I've seen, you know, there's so many things that affect anxiety, so many things that affect the state of fight or flight. I'm not saying that the Fitbit caused my anxiety, but because of the EMF, because of the notifications that are causing this increase in cortisol and not allowing you to get the deep sleep that you need because it's inhibiting the melatonin production, those are all reasons why I stopped wearing it and why I won't be continuously wearing it. I will still occasionally throw it on, but it's not going to be something that I do regularly. And I also recently just did a video on my experience with CBD oil and anxiety and how I did that for a year and how that went. So if you're interested in that, definitely check out this video next. And if you love the science-backed information on how you can heal your body naturally, make sure you subscribe to my channel right here. Come with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday so that you can feel good again. All right, guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video.